Okay, so now that we've gone through the trust equation, the decision-making process, and the three scenarios, you should be at a point now where you're becoming a lot more certain about the decision that you're going to be making going forwards and the commitment that you're going to be making. Now, what I want to do with this video is I want to tell you something, I want to share something with you that, again, I wish somebody told me this when I was first getting started out, because the natural thing for us to do, as we've been programmed by society and by the education system to not be good at making decisions, is not only do we make decisions badly, but we make decisions and we do it slowly. So we delay making decisions. And this video, what I want to do is I want to share with you a couple of mindset shifts that you can be having that will help you to make decisions quickly. Because like Alex Hormozi said, the guy who is, you can find him on YouTube, he's built over $100 million business by the time he was in his 20s, and has done so multiple times at other businesses. With what he said is that the people who have the most amount of success at the highest level is that they can just make decisions in a quicker, shorter space of time because they have that criteria, they have that ability that's been taught to them. So what I want to do is give you that mindset shift in this video so that it will help you in wanting to make a decision shorter, much quicker. And the mindset shift that you want to have is that, I think I spoke about this in a video previous in one of the other modules about how, you know, my mentor was a 8 to 9 figure earner. He created this thing in his mind, this reality in his mind of a tsunami coming eventually in the future, which gave him next level urgency to move forwards in a quicker space of time. And so what I would be recommending for yourself as well is that if you are looking to make a decision right now, then there is no other time than the present, because every other time that you picture is a time that doesn't truly exist. And there's a great book that talks a lot about the time and quantum science, which combines it together. It's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. I would highly recommend everybody reads that to get a better sense as to what time really is. And the premise of the book, it's also very similar to another one, which is more of a spiritual one by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now, which basically says that every other part that we experience that isn't in the present moment is just something that we have as an illusion in the mind, right? So the past is a version of the reality which we imagine to be what was like previously, but is not the reality because it's not something we're truly experiencing. It's just a distortion that we have placed within our mind to keep as a memory. And then the future is, again, just imagined reality of what's going on then. So the only time that is really real is now. Everything else is subjective. So when you're looking at the making of a decision, if you put something off to the future, then you will never make a decision. Because even if you did it in the future, when you were in the future, you would do it now. So the best decision, the best time to make any decision is now, always. And when you are delaying that decision, then you could get into this continuous cycle of feeling like, you know what, now's not the right time, now's not the right time, now's not the right time, which is you lying to yourself. Because remember, with the key of intellect, that devil is going to come to you and put lies into your mind so that you don't actually go towards your purpose. And so that lie that's going to be told to yourself is that now is not the right time, now is not the right time, which is the biggest lie that you can tell yourself, that would just shoot you in the foot and stop you from making a decision. You want to change this limiting belief and make it so that now is the right time. Now is the only time that I can be working on making this decision. Everything else is fake. It doesn't make sense. It's not real. Now, where a person might be thinking, well, not always now is the time to do everything. I get that. So what I would be saying is that there's certain things that you want to prioritize so that you do them first rather than other things. And if you're going through this program right now, chances are this is one of your main priorities right now. Like, what else is more important than you making a commitment towards your financial success, you making a commitment towards creating your God life? What is more important for you right now? Seriously, like, is it more important for you to be sat down and just going to sleep? Is it more important for you to be going out for a little bit of food and doing all these survival things that aren't actually helping you to get into that thriving place? Like, what is the real priority? And be real with yourself. Because if this isn't a priority for you right now, then you probably wouldn't be watching these videos and investing your time. But the thing is, you are. So this has got to be somewhere close to the top of the list. It has to be. So now is always the right time. And the reason why this is so important as well is it's not just about the fact that now is the only real time. It's also that, just like I was saying with the mentor, there are certain times in our life where we have what we call these opportunity windows, right? And an opportunity window is when not only do you experience the results and success because you're good at certain thing, it's also because you matched it with timing. So timing is super important. It's like you could throw the best punch at somebody else in their face, but if you don't time that punch right, then it doesn't matter, it doesn't land. So it's like Conor McGregor says, you can have all the power and speed in the world, but timing and precision beats power and speed. And it's the exact same thing in business, where you have to get the timing right as to when you're going to commit. Now, the problem with most people is that their timing is just always late. It's always late because they're constantly delaying making the decision. So if you know that people are overbalanced towards being late, then your intention wants to be overbalanced towards the other side of being too early. Like, that's where you want to be in business, because there's a saying that is, if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, then you're late. And it's the exact same thing when it comes to you making that decision, making that commitment. If you make the decision early, you're on time. If you make it on time, you're late already, because you're going to end up delaying making decisions in the future as well. So this is what you want to start thinking to yourself, is change the mindset from the masses, which is, I need to think about this decision and just kind of give it time, and change it to, no, I don't have time to think. Now is the only time, and I have to do it as quick as possible because there's a potential opportunity window that I could miss. And I love the quote, which is, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. So when you're working on yourself, you're working on your growth, you're working on building up these ideas, that's all the preparation, that's feeding the faith. But it's also about that preparation meeting opportunity. And the way that I see it is that the earlier that you come into doing something, then the more of an opportunity time frame that you give yourself to meet opportunity. For example, if you started out a business when you were 10 years old and there were 7 different opportunity windows in your entire lifetime, then those opportunity windows might come every 10 years, every cycle of every 10 years, every financial cycle that happens within the world. And you get to experience all 7 of them because you started out at 10 years old. And you might go to the first one and it's like, oh damn, that wave crashed on me and that hurt a lot. But I learned a lot of things. It was a learning process. I'm going to prepare over the next 10 years. And then over the next 10 years, through that preparation, then you meet a new opportunity and you cash out because you knew that this time you need to be on the other side of the wave, and you were, because you're preparing that whole time. And then for the next 50 years, you go and starting to teach other people about how you can have preparation that meets opportunity because you were the one that got crashed first and then went on the right side of the tsunami. And then after that, you completely took off and got great results later on in the future. So when it comes to the other side of that is a person who starts out instead of at 10 years old and starts out at 40 years old, then that first cycle, they get hit and crushed, and at 50 years old, they experience the mistakes then. And then at 60 years old, that's when they can start teaching other people. And the question that I want to be asking you is that, do you want to be like the richest person in the retirement home? Do you want to be the wealthiest person in the retirement home? When most people in the retirement home have a certain level of wealth, because wealth, the difference between wealth and richness is wealth is more time-based. So there's levels to wealth. One of the levels to wealth is money. That's the lowest level. The next level to wealth is having assets, and then the level above that is having time. So, people who have some of the highest levels of wealth, they already have a decent amount of wealth in the retirement home already. So do you want to be that person who's having to wait all those years and then have it anyway? Or do you want to be the person who has that wealth when you're younger, in your 20s, in your 30s? And you will never get there unless you make decisions quick. It has to be decisions that are made quick. And I feel like you all are starting to get to grips with this and understand more of what this really means and how it can have such a high positive impact in making that quick decision. That doesn't necessarily mean, and I don't want to get this twisted, it's not a rush decision. So there's a difference between a rush decision and a quick decision. If you have a rush decision, then that's where you've not done the trust formula. That's where you've not done the 3 scenarios. That's where you've not sat down and done the pros and cons and things like that. A rush decision is where it's just impulsive. And a calculated decision can be a quick decision. It's like doing quick maths. That's the way that you want to see this. And as long as you do the maths, as long as you take the steps, as long as you go through the system, then you can make that decision without any guilt, without any remorse, knowing that it's going to be a great decision. So you want to hit those opportunity windows because one, they're limited, they're scarce, and they only come so often in your life. And you don't want to be the one that's waiting for them, so that you only get to experience the luck where preparation meets opportunity in the future. Go towards the other extreme, be early so that you're on time, and you're going to really thank yourself for that. And we don't have many videos left now. I'm just going to the last few, but what I want to go into the next one is a little bit about something that ties it all back together with a little more spiritual stuff too. And then from there we're going to go into the next steps. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.